people
Good
infrastructure.
afternoon and welcome to Sound Off, the North County's local talk forum and the longest running radio talk show in the county. Sound Off is here to allow you to participate in discussing the issues and ideas of the times. The opinions expressed on Sound Off are those of the speaker and don't necessarily reflect those of KPRL's staff or management. Now here's your host for this afternoon's Sound Off, Ron Fisher.
There's an issue that's being hotly debated at times in the state legislature in Washington, D.C. It's an issue that can be a bit inflammatory, for lack of a better term, and one that can create some pretty strong opinions on one side of it or the other, and that is of the proposed constitutional amendment to ban flag desecration. That's what we're going to talk about this afternoon. Our guest is Lee Harris. He is with the national headquarters of the American Legion.
And it reads, the Congress shall have power to prohibit the physical desecration of the flag of the United States. Period, close quote, end of bill.
Now, we have on our team, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third.
That's what I want to find out, the guy's name.
And then,
That's what I want to find out, the guy's name.
I'm telling you, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third.
It has to be ratified by 2/3 of the states within a 7-year period of time. If it does, we now have an amendment to the Constitution that does absolutely nothing.
We'll just, all right, I'll take it easy with that.
You brought up the First Amendment issue, and why the Supreme Court ruled on that issue. Why don't you see such a constitutional amendment or a law being unconstitutional under that provision?
Well, first of all, the First Amendment gives you the right of speech and assembly. It doesn't give you the right to actions.
How do you figure that the Supreme Court changed the Constitution? Where in the Constitution is this issue dealt with?
Where does the Constitution ever talk about freedom of expression? It doesn't. Freedom of expression is all through interpretation of the First Amendment over the last 40 years by the U.S. Supreme Court. You can't just throw a temper tantrum. You can't be totally disrespectful. You cannot be just malicious in everything you do and be a responsible citizen.
I don't give a darn! I said, I don't give a darn!
Yes, you are going to be changing the First Amendment. What has established the restrictions of the First Amendment freedom of speech issue, as was pointed out earlier, that Ron has certain restrictions that he has when he is being a reporter and such. A lot of these restrictions have essentially been established by the Supreme Court itself in the interpretation of what is freedom of speech. And right now, I have far more faith in the governmental body called the United States Supreme Court than I do in a fanatic such as this gentleman.
I have a proposition maybe that would further your cause. If the symbol of the flag is as precious as you say, then it maybe shouldn't be printed and distributed on such easily accessible items. You might want to make it like a gun, have a waiting period. So that
there's a difference.
All I'm saying is, if I buy a flag and it's my property, then it should be mine to do with what I want.
Is that an American flag?
Is it? Yes. What if you have a pair of underwear or a shirt?
Is that an American flag?
Right.
Or is it a pair of boxer shorts?
Is it?
Who's on first?
Yes.
I mean, the guy's name.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who?
The guy on first base.
Who is on first?
What are you asking me for? I don't know.
I have an American flag sitting in my front room that was draped over my brother's coffin, who died for our country. And I want the right to be able to burn it if I can. But you turn around and you say, no, you can't do this. What did he die for? What did he die for?
This lady who called and her brother who died in service to the country, and she has his flag. We don't know what he died for.
Yeah, now I get behind the plate and I'm going to do some fancy catching, and tomorrow's pitching on my team, right?
Yeah.
Now tomorrow he winds up the ball and I'm behind the plate and the heavy hitter gets up.
Yeah.
Now the heavy hitter gets up and he's ready to hit the ball, and tomorrow's going to throw the ball. I'm the catcher. Now when tomorrow throws the ball, the guy up bunts the ball. Now when he bunts the ball, me being a good catcher, I want to throw the guy out of first base, so I pick up the ball and throw it to who?
Now that's the first thing you've said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about!
Do you believe that we should guarantee the rights for Nazis to march down the streets?
They're already protected to march down the street.
Do you think that should be guaranteed?
Hey, As long as they don't break the law, doesn't mean I agree with them.
Okay, now that's a despicable thing.
Well, in some cases.
But we're guaranteeing that.
Yeah, but
so we're going to pick and choose about what we're going to guarantee.
On that note,
you're full of baloney.
No, they're walking down the street in freedom of speech.
Losing control here. We're out of time.
Yeah, that's freedom of speech. Exactly.
All right.
Burning a flag or defecating on a flag steps beyond the freedom of speech. And I take it, Ron, that you're trying to pull the plug here.
I am pulling the plug because they're going to pull the plug because we got network news coming up. I can't do it. We're out of time. Thank you, sir. See ya.